Hi there. Okay, I am done with the tabbed interface. And let's see what else we had here. Remove pics on the scholarship, about us. That was done early on. And get a tabbed interface with scholarships available and so on. Now, it does say, oh, college and university. Okay, I will retitle those tabs. I don't think I have that quite right yet. Leave space in each tab for direct data entry. Let me show you a little bit about this. Okay, so here's the page with the tabs itself, or the tabs themselves. And we can click on college or vocational. I have changed the format a little bit, and I've made them both 100% to the width of the page so that they don't jump in size. That way when you switch back and forth, it looks very seamless. And if we make this page a little bit smaller, the table resizes with the width of the page. Okay, now let's get that. Let's tell you how we can rename these tabs. Now, in the back end, where the page itself is, as LaDonna and I had talked back in the day, there's a couple ways I could have constructed this table that has all this stuff in it. One was a good bit more expensive because it involved creating a special plugin with a way that you can enter the data from a layperson method. It kind of looks like a Word document when it was all said and done. But that really takes quite a few hours to create something like that. I mean, I think the charge was somewhere around $750. I can't remember, it's been years, but it was going to take a long time. So alternatively, we created it in HTML in the same way that I did the tabs this time. And then you'll just have to figure out where stuff is by going over here and switching into the code editor. So the visual editor, this is what your page looks like. And you see it doesn't look like tabs. You can't even tell they're tabs in WordPress's visual format. Now this front table looks like it's at least partially editable, or one of them is, but that's the whole table itself, however, is in the code editor mode. So here we are in the code editor mode. You can find the things you're looking for. You'll see them here. It's fairly straightforward, but obviously there's a lot of code to sift through. And if you were to break one of these little greater than symbols or less than symbols, if you made them disappear, it would make the page faulty and things wouldn't look right. Now, you do have a revisions area in WordPress. On the right hand side, you can click on revisions, leave this page, and it will show you the different revisions, and you can slide back on this scale right here, and it tells you how many minutes ago that page was revised. Now, we're not going to do this. I'll go back here to the original page. But just so you have a safety net to save yourself in the event that things went wrong, go one revision back. But again, these three dots, code editor, come back here and change whatever table that you want to. Now, you talked a little bit. I saw at only the top of that email of Carmen's, and it said, "Oh no, that wasn't it. It was in our project." It said here that you wanted to have space in each tab for direct entry as with any normal page. And that can be done. So if I do Control F on this page and I look for this word that says table, okay, because you have two tables, you're only going to find that angle bracket and the word table 2 times. And above that you see tab content. Well, below the tab content and above the table, you can put text. Okay, and I will show you the same thing on the other one. Again, Control F. If you hold on your Control key and hit the letter F, it creates a little field down here on your browser. In that point, you can put down the left or less than symbol in the word table, and it will then go to the next table. And we can then go under the tab content element and again put more text there. I'll go ahead and save that so you can see what that looks like. And we'll come back over and reload the page. And scroll down and you see you can put text. You can put more text. Now, that has a background of a light gray because that's the background of the table as a whole that you can't see. It's what causes this light gray border to appear. So if you want to change the background color, then I think we can just put a style right here, and you may not have to change that. Let's see if that works. In fact, we'll put important along that after that to make kind of help it stick. And I'll do the same thing with the other. That's Photech. Here we go. The other, oh, I see. So that shows a display none by default. Let me try something here. Oh, well, this may do the job right here. Yeah. So now, by making that one visible, because we want the tab to be hidden when it loads until you click on it, let me see if my code will automatically hide it on the fly. It does. So that's a win. All right. So now you can edit it here without going into the actual code. That made life a lot easier. And you can also, because I put that you can put more text here, the tabs are still not going to show up as tabs. But if I leave even a period in there, it'll tell you where you can start making text entries. Okay? And these are both going to stay available to you, so you don't have to go into that code mode again. Let me refresh that. Okay, we see the periods there. We see the periods there, so you know where you can make a textual entry. It did not, the making things white didn't really happen. So the tab content, I tried to make it all white to make life easier for you. But that didn't happen. So let's try it on the container level. No dice. So you're going to have to create a separate, I'm going to have to create a separate element around those 3 dots. Who knows, that might end up better in the long run. So we're going to this is the kind of stuff that's involved in creating that that entire tabbed environment. Now that gives us a div, an element to contain our 3 dots or whatever else you want to add. And I could even, I'm going to put a border on it just so you can see it. We're not going to leave a red border on it, but it's going to help underscore what we're doing here. Okay, we'll save that. Take a look at it here. All right, now you see this red bordered area here where the 3 dots are. That makes it more obvious where it's supposed to go. I've also made the background white. Now we're going to get rid of that red area, but I'm going to try to do something that makes the whole thing more obvious to you. Let's come over here and let's look at this in the visual editing mode. You see the same thing there. It makes it real easy for you to know where you can enter text without stepping on a landmine of some kind. Now let's go back into the code editor. See, I can't make these changes, the programming that's necessary in that visual mode. This is the mode I have to be in. So all right, we'll go back to these three dots. And what we might be able to do is see this first. What you need to do is you need to know where to be below. So I think I'll, that red line actually is kind of in keeping with the color that we're using here. So I think if I just do a red border on the top, we'll be good. So border, top, right there. Let's update that and have a look at it. We'll put that in the visual editor mode. Okay, so now even if I get rid of these three dots, you can see what we're dealing with. I'm going to update that, refresh the page. Yeah, that's kind of, I think that's working for us. So the red line is at the top of the table. It looks completely natural. And when you have text in it, yeah, that's I mean, that's the only way this can work. It's probably better with a line than not a line. So it otherwise you'd have two tabs just sitting out there in space, and that kind of ties it all together. Let's see. Tab content. Let's go back to that container. I want to try something there. It's not really what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. So tab college. CM tab container tab. Let's see about that. Now that wraps the entire tabbed area, which keeps it looking proper. Yeah, I want this. I think if we encase the whole thing, it doesn't. I want these tabs not to look like they're just out there in space somewhere. And then writing that, you can still do this, but that covers both tabs, not an individual tab. The ability to write text within each individual tab is what we're working on here. I think that works. We're going to make it black instead of red. And we're going to make these other ones gray, since we already have a border with the all-around container. We don't want to overemphasize that too much. Put that there. Okay. Save that. Let's have another look at that. Oh, I've got to get rid of this this top. Oh no, I know it. Yeah, I got it in the wrong place. Black. What I had determined was we needed to do that. Not on that, but on the CM tab content. Right here. And there's two of those. Okay, so this has our line at the top, but it didn't get wrapped around. Still looks pretty good, but we still need that. So why didn't it get applied? I'm going to throw an important on that. Still not there. Okay, I'm going to try a little back-end programming here to put that in place. We'll find your site here. And this is where I made a lot of the coding for the tabs. You can see some of it right here. And tab container. Yeah, make it thin. Oh, that's on my development server. Let me get over to the live server. Wrong client. Let's see, web dev, there we are. Still the wrong server. Yeah, we'll be there in a second. This is the right server. Okay. Let's see if that brings us any love. Still nothing. Well, we just keep trying. Iterations, that's part of what this job is, iterations. So instead of putting it there, slide it down here. Overwrite that class definition. Okay. All right, let's see what that does. Score. That's what it took. So now we have the black border around the whole table. And because I painted that a very light gray, it looks consistent with the rest of it. It doesn't look like it's doubled up on the top in the same way. So that'll make it easy for you to edit that area while keeping the table overall looking consistent. And I think that is all we really need to talk about. Go back to the visual editor side. And just so we can see, if I just put something in there like that and update it and reload the page, it puts it in there. Table didn't fall apart, so you don't have to be that worried about that now that everything is in an editable format. Delete that out of there. And I'll take those 3 dots out of there. But see, this gives us a space. It makes it very easy for you to see. Even without the 3 dots, I'm going to remove them now completely. But since that element has been put in there, it sucks it up when there's no text at all. But when you put the text in there, it will be able to it'll be easy for you to see where it goes. Okay, so that's it for now. Now, I'm going to take a look at this email. And let's see if we can make, if there's anything we need. Okay, additional tab. Okay, so available college and university. So let's just go ahead and make that change. And you'll get an idea of how that change is made. I could make it right here. I'm a little bit available college and university. I think we'll be okay there. Okay, and then the other one is, okay, no, it's available. Okay, so I'm a little confused by this. It says with 2 available tabs, available college and university, and available, oh, so this, okay, so this, they're going to be long tab names. I get it. Okay. All right, so those are your 2 tab names. If I understand this right, let's go ahead and update that. Make sure it didn't fall apart. And looks good. All right. Let's see what else we got. Separating the table, which I understand you can create it and can only edit the formatting. Not really sure what this means. The bottom portion of the table gets moved to and as a part of the table. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. We may need to talk about that. In college, university push of the foreign language now deleted. Yeah, what I think I'm going to want you to do is do a Zoom meeting with me or a face-to-face, and we'll go over those things. I believe what we want the available CC and VT, which I'm guessing you abbreviated these. I know Megan can do edits, but can Megan edit wording inside each table? Well, now you know the answer to that. At the beginning of this video, you couldn't, but now you can. You the only one Megan can edit the table as we work together. All right, stem goes one. Okay, Megan may know the answer. So let's. I think we may have covered everything in here just by your ability to more easily make these changes. There is the ability, I think, even to do a copy and paste. So let's talk about that. If we go down to this bottom area, just picking one out, we've got, I think, a table. Oh, there we are, right there. See this little floating thing right here? If I take that, insert, I don't really see a copy. No, you can insert, you can delete. Doesn't really give you a copy. Is that a cut? It just delete tables. So that looks a little dangerous all in all. up here, we have a row cut. That's what we're looking for. So if I just click anywhere in that row, go up to the top, click Table, Row, and Cut Table Row. So that part went well. Now, let's click right here in the Susan Woolsey Spirit, and we're going to go back up there, and we're going to choose Row and paste before and after. How wonderful. I'm going to choose after. Well, it's there. It did reshape things a little bit. You see, it's not 100% width anymore. I don't know if it broke or not. I have a feeling that this is okay, and that once we refresh this page, or the front end won't be affected by this. So let's just take a look. I'm going to save that. Come over to the front. Reload that. And we have our new table. It looks pretty good. Yeah, that's a win. So let's come back over here to the back end. I'm just going to reload this page and see what that looks like. So it keeps the page a little bit compressed on the visual side. It looked, it fills the page on the other end. I would caution you not to drag these handles because I have a feeling once we do, it's going to set a hard pixel number in there instead of the 100% number we have right now. Give you an idea what I think we're talking about. I'm going to go down to table. You'll notice I have this class in here that says ZC100, ZE100, and all that. That basically says make this table 100% at these various different sizes that somebody might be looking at, and that's better than there's seven different responsive that a browser can be, and each time it's going to keep it at 100%. If I go over to that editor mode. I want to do these things because I can handle whatever the fallout is. You're less likely to be able to handle it if there's some fallout. So let's grab that. Just bring it to the edge of the page, like it was before. So we can make the most use of it. It looks nice. It's easy to work with. But the first thing I paste, it's probably going to have that effect on it anyway. So we'll do that, and then we'll take a look at this code editor, and see if right here, boom. You see this width 839? Just what I was talking about. It hard-coded a width in there based on what I just did. Now maybe if I type in a hard-coded 100%, it may force them to always recognize that. Let's go to the other table. And do the same thing. That might just be the key. I've got to speak a little WordPress speak sometimes to make everything work wonderfully. All right, so now it's filled it out at 100%. We don't want this here. So let's do the same thing. I've clicked any one of these tables. I'm clicking on the first one, clicking the table icon, row, and we will cut that table row. It's disappeared. The table did not resize. I'm going to click in marine technology. I'll click on that table, row, and we will paste below. Okay. I'm not before. Below in this case means after. Okay. And that puts it there. This time it didn't mess with the table formatting, so that's going to make it easier for you. We'll update that. And now Susie is now the last one, which we wanted to see. Available community. We do have a problem there. Now I'm going to look behind the scenes at that. See if I can see why my 100% got all crunched up. There's the table right there. There's the width 100%. I don't see any reason So, well, that is 100%. Well, that is 100%. See, when I hover over, and it turns the background that blue in this environment. I'm using the developer tool in the browser. That gives me an idea what the width of that element is. So it's not that element that's actually restricting us. It's one of the ones below it. Table row looks good. Well, let me do a float left instead of a float. That might be the key. No. This is a bit of a challenge. Something in the mix is restricting our size. And WordPress injected it. Oh, I've got our culprit. So you see on this far left side, when I inserted that row, which did go beyond below marine technology, WordPress dumped in an extra TD right here. See how that blue line at the bottom? That shouldn't be there. It tried to do a copy and paste, and it failed because it inserted an extra element that didn't exist to begin with. So I know that's got to be a little bit scary for you. Let me see if I can do a Control-Z, which is an undo in a lot of programs. Yeah, see how that worked? So Control-Z took it out of there. And so we still have it underneath Susan Woolley. We're back to where we started. If I update, so remember that Control-Z, that's going to help you. I'm going to refresh this now. And lo and behold, we're back where we needed to be. So that's going to be empowering for you. So you know you can get out of trouble just by Control-Z and backing up one step. Let's do this. I'm going to try a couple different things. We're going to highlight it, do a Control-C. And then I'm going to go to the last one and try that. Paste table row after. Okay, and we're going to talk about the Control-C in just a minute, if it works. Still, same problem. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see the problem. So moving things between these two tables is failing, and WordPress really has got it right. They made their best guess. This table has 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. This table has 5 columns. Although at this point nobody's using the application requirements, so I'm not sure whether you even need that column, in which case it's very seamless. But if you want them to remain as 2 separate column lengths, then you're going to have to click on it on a and I'm going to do a couple more Control-Z's just to put this German studies back at the bottom. You see how that worked? That was very nice. Okay, I'm going to save that. And in those periodic, once you know you've got it right, hit that update button, save your work where you're at. Now, what you're going to want to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, wait a second, I didn't see this coming. So now we have 5 columns in each. Oh, I needed one more Control-Z to put things straight. Okay, so now there's our original 4. I've already saved. I can do as many Control-Z's after this that I want because I'm not saving them. The one I wanted to save, I've saved. Now I'm going to reload the page, and it'll load the saved version, most recent saved. Which, by the way, Control-S is save in the same way that pressing the update button is. Now, so if you want to add something to one of your tables and you want to keep them at different column lengths, then you're going to want to click on one of these down here. And once you do, this bar doesn't appear until you've clicked inside. You notice the bar is not there right now. Once I click inside, this bar at the top will appear. Now we can click on the table, row, insert after, and it's going to give us, gives us nothing. Hold on, let me do that again. I must have messed something up. Row. Oh, I picked paste row after. Well, there's nothing to paste. Insert row after. There we go. That gives us a nice clean row, but we can type anything we want to. Okay, and that won't break anything. And the same thing down here. If I click on Marine Technology row and I come over here and row insert after or before, whatever you want to do, I now have a nice even set. I'll go ahead and update that. I could have used Control-S. We'll refresh that page. You see we've got an empty row down here and another empty row down here. Now, the new row, I noticed, doesn't keep the color formatting, the every other row color formatting. And the reason for that, so there's this thing called CM many even row and many odd row. Those are class names. So if we come back over here, I notice this one doesn't have that class name. Now, I don't know in this mode if there's a way table properties, row properties, maybe it's there. Advanced style border, no, it still doesn't allow me to add a class there. I don't see any way within WordPress's world to insert a class. So this thing that says ASDF, let's go ahead and back into the code editing mode, which I think you're going to have to do to get this part of it worked out. So this helps, you know, I did a Control F, which I showed you earlier, to get here. And now I didn't expect to see I don't recall. Okay, so this is the row that just got added right here. So they have taken some liberties. They didn't duplicate. Okay, they inserted a row. This is important. So when you insert a row, they don't include any of the classes of the previous row. And as a result, it looks different on the front end because those classes are missing. And they're hard coding a few things in there. Looks like the widths would probably be consistent with the widths that are in the other areas. Although, frankly, I don't remember putting these widths in there. I think that was their decision, but that's okay. That actually works well enough. But what I need to do is teach you a better way to recreate that row. I'm going to update that and save it. Go back to the visual editor. Okay. And actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to do Control Z my way out of all of it. I think that'll work. No, I think maybe, oh yeah, there it goes. Okay, so that took out the last of it. Now, Control Z is clearly your friend. Now, if I right click on this, if I click on this table again, I don't think a right click does anything for me now. And I go back up here to table, row. Ah, this will do it. Copy table row. And then, same thing, row, paste table row after. So now we've got a duplicate. Now, if I put my content in there, that should keep the classes intact. I'll update that and take a look. Voila. Okay, so it looks like I manually entered these class names. So you notice each new row has a different class name. That means you're going to have to manually enter those class names. And I'm trying all the ways that I can to save you going into the code editor. So that copy worked. Here it is right here. But here we have this even row right here. That's what you're dealing with. It needs to be odd row if you want the multiple colors like that. So each one of these, you'll need to go in and change it to odd row or even row. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now if we come over here and reload the page, you'll see that it is the different color, which makes it easier for people. So that's the only thing that's going to send you into the code side is you'll have to change that odd row to even row. I'm going to just do a quick Google search. Okay, table add class in, what is that, the visual mode. I think that's what they call that. Yeah, visual editor. Okay. I don't see specifically adding custom classes to tables. Let's see here. Yeah, that's a code method. You don't want that. Additional CSS classes. Let's have a look at that. On the right-hand side under block, I'm not sure if they consider a table a block, but let's take a look. First, we'll go ahead and view it in the visual mode. Come down here to block, to the table row, and we've clicked on block. Yeah, doesn't look like they consider a table a block. So maybe if I drag across it like that. No block selected. How about that? So they're asking you, do you want to use the classic WordPress editor? So that isn't, or it's telling us to use the classic WordPress editor, which is this thing at the top. Yeah. Page attributes. Let's click in here. See if there's anything underneath here. Featured image. No, none of that is class oriented. So at this point, there's no way to change the class other than you can still add all your table rows on wherever you want, however you want to do that. And then when you're all said and done, you save it. It displays everything's good except for the color changes. Go into the code mode, find the row, and change the class to odd or even. That's the that one. It doesn't look like I can help you get out of. Well, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you. And let me know if you have any questions or where you want to go from here. And I'll delete that ASDF thing out of there. Bye-bye.